Yo, what's good YouTube? In today's video I got y'all 5 incredible loadouts you guys should be running. They're actually really fun to use, so if you enjoyed the video, be sure to do me a favor, drop a like on it. It does help me out, and subscribe, those notifications turned on, and make sure you guys leave a comment down in the comment section below. That being said, let's get into it. All right, so for our first gun up here today, we're gonna be taking a look at the TAC 56. So this gun right here is really fun to use, honestly. It's a great MW2 gun that I don't think a lot of people really use. A lot of people don't really use the MW2 guns anyways, just because a lot of them are trash ever since that BO6 Warzone integration. A lot of them just really ain't that good. So this is actually good. It got a buff here a while ago, but for our first attachment, we're gonna go to the control section and we're gonna go all the way down to the very bottom. Not that you really have to, but we're gonna go in here and we're just basically gonna use like the Komodo Heavy, the Casus Brake, basically one of these compensators that is going to actually help with your recoil control and your gun kit control. That's really what you're looking for. As long as you can find that, it doesn't really matter what it is, because you can go to the detailed stats. You can see essentially all of them do the same thing. So just pick one of them that does this and you'll be a-okay. Get help unlocking Dark Matter, Abyss, and Nebula camos in Black Ops 6 with Mitch Cactus. They're absolutely the biggest and most reliable in Call of Duty right now. Whether you want something across multiplayer, zombies, or Warzone, they're completely legitimate for all platforms. They're super trusted by the community, and you may have seen them all over YouTube, and that's for good reason. They'll unlock all your camos, augments, and more without needing to lift a finger. With over 17,000 reviews and thousands of personalized vouchers, they're the go-to for all things in Call of Duty. Use code CHUCK at checkout for 5% off. After that barrel section, we're gonna go throw on that 17.5 Tundra Pro barrel. I mean, obviously, bullet velocity and range, fire accuracy, firing aiming stability. Great stuff here. Of course, it just helps overall. We don't really care about the cons here. Unfortunately, all these guns have cons from the MW2 and 3. Don't really like that. I wish they would have changed it, especially since they changed a lot of the attachments or dumbed them down to do the same things. Wish they would have done it the other way too, where they removed the cons from a lot of this. Underbarrel section, I'm going to go here and I'm just going to go down and I'm going to choose a vertical grip, and we're just going to go for the XRK bow breaker, bow breaker, whatever you want to call this thing. The bow breaker grip, we're going to go choose this just because recoil control, firing aiming stability. You can choose another grip, like I said. You know, the same thing applies for the grip as it does for the muzzle. As long as it does the same thing here, then you're going to be okay. This is just literally the first one in here. I think it looks fine. So I just go ahead and choose this to make my life easy instead of scrolling through like 20 different of these things. It doesn't really matter. Magazine, of course, you want to go through on the 60 round mag. It's actually kind of fun. You can really get it to go entirely off the screen, but we're going to throw on the 60 round mag. I am a 60 round mag kind of guy, so it's like what I like to go for. And lastly, we're going to go to the ammunition tab, and we're going to go throw on these beautiful things down here, the high grain rounds, which helps with our bullet velocity and our damage range, getting us out to over 1,000 meters per second. In bullet velocity, damage range is going to be really good at 54.3 meters, farther out than majority of the ARs in this game right now, that with the correct build on them. So you really will be hitting. The only downside is that maybe you might be lacking slightly on the bullet velocity in comparison to like a Krieg or maybe something else like that. That's really about it. But this right here is your full build, and it's honestly fun to use. Next up, let's get you guys built here for the Ladra SMG. I can't really be showing the LC10 every top 5 because it's like it's used so much. It's so good. There's no real reason for me to continuously show it. That just makes top 5s repetitive. And I want to give you guys builds for other SMGs that are really good, like the Ladra. So first thing in here, we're gonna go throw on the long barrel to increase out our damage range. We can actually select that real quick, and so we can actually have that take effect right there. Some guns you can get away with running the reinforced barrel, but this one right here, I like the long barrel. I think this works out way better. 15.5 meters of damage range, bullet velocity is fine. Obviously the fire rate's pretty absurd, so we're totally good with all this. We don't really want to go for the gain twist. Not good in any circumstance. Just go for the long barrel, or if you're at minimum the reinforced barrel, but otherwise long barrel. Underbarrel section, some people like to go for the vertical foregrip here. That's perfectly fine if you want a little bit of that recoil control. I know this thing can move around a little bit, so the vertical is going to be okay. What I like to go for is the Ranger, just because I feel like I can control the recoil perfectly fine. It works out great for me. So sprinting movement speed also is a really nice thing. I like to be fast, and this definitely does help out. So Ranger foregrip is my go-to. Magazine, you guys can kind of run whatever you want on this thing. You can run extended mag 1, which is 55 rounds. You'll be a little bit more agile and mobile, so we really like that. Or you can go down here for extended mag 2 and get 66 rounds in your magazine, which honestly, normally speaking, when I'm running the Ladra, I do go for extended mag 2 nowadays. I don't run the Ladra a whole lot just because I always go for like the LC10 or maybe even sometimes like the KSV, the C9, something else like that. I'll go for some of those other guns just because I like to switch stuff up. I ran the Ladra quite a bit, so you guys can literally go for whatever. Extended mag 1 or 2, not going to matter. Rear grip, however, this does matter. Unlike the magazine, we're throwing on that ergonomic grip here. Dive to fire, slide to fire, ADS speed, and jumping aimed outside speed. Pretty much like your go-to rear grip for all of your SMGs. Don't really need to switch this out for anything else. It's not going to be better no matter which way you test it. I believe that for pure close range capabilities, the ergonomic is the best. Lastly, in the stock section, I go for the Infiltrator or the Balance stock. Kind of whatever you want to use, it's up to you. I think the Infiltrator might work out a little bit better for some of you guys just because when you get that aim walking movement speed, as long as you're strafing back and forth, your ADS aim assist is going to be stronger than, of course, if you were standing still. It does make you a bit of a harder target to hit, though. However, if you have more aim walking movement speed, it is easier to come off target. So if you feel like your aim's real shaky, go for the Balance stock. This will help you out in more ways than one, obviously. And then the Infiltrator will be better for people that have maybe slightly better aim overall. If your aim's trash, go for the Balance. If your aim's pretty decent, go for the Infiltrator. You'll be fine. But this right here is my full build. Next up in this top 5 is going to be the LW3A1 Frostline, a really nice BO6 sniper rifle that isn't, of course, the HDR. And I'm also not showing you guys the Car 98K because those are like your other top 2. I think last time I showed you guys the FJX Imperium, so I want to give you guys a build at least here for the Frostline, as this is really fun to use. So first thing, you can actually see my level's only 26. I really don't be sniping a whole lot just because like AR SMG, that's kind of like my go-to, or maybe SMG sniper if I decide to go that route, but normally it's AR SMG. Muzzle, you're just going to go through on the mono suppressor. You really don't have to have anything else. Like, mono suppressor is the most effective thing to run for this, so you guys 110% should be running that on this gun. Barrel section, what you want to do is just throw on the long barrel to increase our overall damage range. We're trying to get this up to that 80.3 meters. You really shouldn't be running anything else. I mean, even if you had, let's say, the reinforced barrel, you don't want to do that because that's your damage at effective range, only 70.7 meters, and you have 80.3 right here, and we'll even increase the bullet velocity farther. So overall, we want that one-shot headshot distance to be as far out as possible, and this will get us right there. Stock pad, what you're going to want to do is probably go for the lightweight pad right here, just for that aiming idle sway. It's just so when you're, you're ADSing, you're not like constantly swaying around. It makes it easier in that regard. So I like the lightweight pad. Now we're going to go on back in here and we're just going to go to either like the comb or the stock, but I think right now we're going to go for the stock. And reason being, what we're going to do is we're just going to throw on either, which we call it the combat, or we're going to go throw on the heavy. So it's kind of up to you and what you guys want to be able to run. Here you can see flinch resistance and aim walking movement speed, or you get more flinch resistance right here. Just kind of choose whatever one is good for you. Honestly, you're not really going to have a big difference. You just want less flinch resistance. So flinch resistance right here at 53% versus this gets you only about 23%, and you get a little bit of ADS movement speed. I'd probably say the heavy stock is going to be a little bit better for that, so just go for the heavy stock. Lastly, we're in the fire mods. We're going to go in here and throw on the overpressured rounds, just to increase our bullet velocity. You can see it gets you a nice little 15% increase. So now we have a 1214 meter per second bullet velocity, an 80 plus meter one-shot headshot damage range, and then everywhere else in the body, it is essentially at maximum a 2-shot. So this makes the sniper very effective. It's also pretty quick. Reload's really nice. Overall, you guys are gonna have a blast using this, so try this thing out. Now we're hopping into an SMG that I like to run. I mentioned it a little bit earlier, the C9. This is really good just for overall mobility. Love the C9 for its mobility. I think it's a great all-around SMG. If you don't want to run the LC10, don't want to run the Ladra, something else like that, you can definitely go for this. But first thing, barrel section. So there is kind of like something I've been testing out. So I've been running the reinforced barrel here a little bit more recently. As I click on this, we go back in here and take a look at that. Damage at effective range still 15.2 meters, which is like really good. I do enjoy having the bullet velocity be faster than of course the base 540. So honestly, try out either or, see what works best for you. But I've been really liking the reinforced barrel. I feel like it's really good for a lot of the situations I'm in. So I'm liking it, and I'm going to stay with that. But keep in mind, you can run either or, and it's not going to make or break your loadout by any means. Underbarrel, I just go in here and I always run the Ranger foregrip. I know the C9 is another case, like maybe like the Ladra, where you might want to run the vertical foregrip just because of the overall recoil. Very easy to control off rip, then all of a sudden after extended periods of fire, it starts really jiggling around and becomes harder to use. So overall, the vertical can be better. I don't really ever recommend the G grip. It's just not all that great. It doesn't really do anything exceptionally well. So I just always think go for the Ranger or go for the vertical, and that's it. I just go for the Ranger because I'm pretty good with the recoil control and I want that sprinting movement speed. Magazine, I go in here and run the extended mag 2, unless you guys are trying to do that like glitch I showed you in my video yesterday. You'd be obviously trying this and going altering something coming back, but overall you're going to be using extended mag 2 basically 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10. I mean, I'm not switching this out really for anything. I only switched it out to try out something, and even then I still ended up equipping the extended mag 2. So overall, you're just going to go for extended mag 2, 50 rounds to the mag. You can't go for extended mag 1. I used to do that for a while, but I just don't think it's all that great. So I just go for this, and I have stuck with this for a long time. Rear grip, standard ergonomic grip. I'm not going to explain this one here again. And then in the stock section, we're just going to go through on the balance stock, as for whatever reason, when I'm using this gun, I feel significantly better using the balanced over the infiltrator. I know some people like the no stock. I personally don't care for it. I just want to go for the balance, and this is my go-to. So this right here is my full build. Now, last but definitely not least, this is one of the more slept on ARs in the game right now. Very good damage profile that I think people should be using, taking a look at. GPR 91, honestly, something really nice, and people should be giving it a little bit more love. So for the GPR, much like really any assault rifle in the game that you're going to be using, you can essentially run whatever you want from, let's say, we're going to go from the Willis 3 times on up in here. So the Willis 3 times, the Jason, on up in here to the red dots. You can literally run whatever you want that makes you feel good. The Merlin Mini is really solid. Of course, the Kepler Microflex is really good. What I like to kind of go for is this the Volzinski Reflex. My bad, I'm stumbling over words today, but the Volzinski Reflex, I enjoy going for it. It's just really nice. It's very clear, easy to see, so I enjoy that quite a bit. When I go into here, I'll customize it for the reticle, and I'll go through on the blue dot on this thing. So we have that. And next up in the muzzle section, we're going to go through on the compensator here. You can, if you really, really want to, throw on the mono suppressor. It will work, right? But the recoil, I wouldn't suggest it. The GPR does have that recoil, so the compensator is going to be our best bet. Barrel section, this is one of those guns where you need to run that reinforced barrel. You can see that it actually pushes us out here to 39.6 meters. They still have a really fast TTK up to about that 40-ish meter mark. So this is, relatively speaking, kind of like a resurgence AR, not like you're going to be using this on Verdansk. Probably wouldn't recommend that. Probably would stick to something else like the Krig, the Kilo, even the FFAR running Sniper Sport, something else like that. Like, you're just going to go for something else a little bit different. So this is more of like a resurgence AR, and you want to run the reinforced barrel on it. On a barrel section, of course, we're going to go for the vertical foregrip here. Pretty standard on an assault rifle. Once again, you don't really care for the G grip or the Ranger foregrip. Those are like kind of like specialty use cases, and we don't really have one of those cases right here. Lastly, magazine, of course, extended mag 2, 60 rounds in the mag, and that's going to be that. So that's my full build. That's my top 5. You guys enjoyed it, give it a like, subscribe, check out this other video on screen, and I'll see you all next time.